Right now, if you look at the current episodes, the situation in Port Charles is incredibly tense and heartbreaking. Jason Morgan has finally made his highly anticipated return to the screen, but he looks like a mere shadow of his former self. He is emaciated, seemingly weak, and completely traumatized by whatever horrific torture he endured during his long captivity with the WSB. Everyone in town, from Carly Spencer to Sonny Corinthos, and especially his son Danny Morgan, is walking on eggshells around him. They all believe that Jason is suffering from severe physical and psychological damage, struggling to even get through the day. The narrative the writers are feeding us is that he is a broken man, stepping away from the mob life just to survive and protect his family. But ladies, if you ask me, that is nothing but a masterfully crafted illusion. I am here to tell you that Jason Morgan is not weak. He is not broken. According to my most trusted insider leak, Jason's entire frail, emaciated appearance is a deliberate, highly calculated act. He is putting on the performance of a lifetime to deceive both his closest friends and his deadliest enemies. Why? Because Jason knows a terrifying truth that the rest of the town is completely oblivious to. There is a high-level WSB spy deeply embedded right here in Port Charles, watching his every single move. Jason knows that if he returns looking like the lethal enforcer we all know and love, this spy will immediately go underground, or, worse, strike at Danny and Carly. By playing the role of a weakened, traumatized victim, Jason is essentially playing dead, waiting for the predator to step out of the shadows. But you cannot fool a former super spy for long, and that is exactly where Police Commissioner Anna Devane comes into the picture. Anna is going to be the very first person to sense that something is completely off about Jason's miraculous recovery. The leaked scripts indicate that while Jason is putting on this pitiful act, his lethal instincts are still sharp as a tack. There is a scene coming up where a dangerous situation unfolds, perhaps a loud noise that sounds like a gunshot, or a heavy falling object. And Jason reacts with lightning fast, deadly precision before immediately catching himself and pretending to stumble. Anna sees this. She notices that his reflexes are far too quick for a man who is supposedly physically ruined. Anna starts to suspect that Jason is playing a very dangerous game, protecting a covert mission that he cannot share with anyone, not even her. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos is also going to stumble upon this massive secret, but in a completely different way. Michael has been deeply concerned about Jason tracking his movements because he genuinely believes Jason is suffering from severe PTSD and insomnia. Michael thinks Jason is wandering the docks at night because he cannot sleep due to the trauma of his captivity. But when Michael decides to follow Jason into the shadows of the harbor, he does not find a broken man staring blankly into the water. Instead, Michael is absolutely stunned to witness Jason having a highly secretive, clandestine meeting with none other than Serena Baldwin. Yes, ladies, Serena Baldwin. Kelly Kruger's return to the canvas is not just about lipstick and corporate drama. It is tied directly to the WSB and Jason's ultimate endgame. Now, why on earth is Jason Morgan sneaking around in the dead of night to meet with Serena Baldwin? If you ask me, Serena did not just come back to Port Charles to help Lucy Coe in the petty power struggle over deception. She is carrying something incredibly dangerous. My sources tell me that Serena is in possession of a highly encrypted hard drive. This is not just any drive. It contains a master list of individuals who have been secretly collaborating with the WSB for years. We are talking about dirty agents, informants, and traitors who have been operating right under our noses. Serena has somehow gotten her hands on this list, and Jason needs it to identify the exact spy who has been assigned to monitor him in Port Charles. During this hushed midnight meeting, the leaked script reveals a massive bombshell. Jason confesses the absolute truth to Serena. The WSB did not just accidentally let him escape. His freedom was entirely orchestrated by the agency. They purposefully allowed him to break free and return to Port Charles because they wanted to use him as human bait. The WSB knew that if Jason returned, the rogue agents and the embedded spy in town would eventually have to make a move against him. Jason is fully aware that he is the cheese in the mousetrap. That is exactly why he has to maintain this facade of extreme physical weakness. He has to convince this hidden enemy that he is no longer a threat, luring them into a false sense of security so they will finally reveal their identity and step into his trap. But here's where the soap opera drama hits the fan, ladies. Jason and Serena are not alone on those docks. Hiding just a few feet away, lurking behind a shipping crate, is Lucy Coe. Lucy accidentally overhears this entire explosive conversation. Now, any normal person would immediately run to Michael or the authorities with this kind of life-threatening information. But this is Lucy Coe we are talking about. Instead of blowing the whistle on Jason's fake illness, Lucy decides to keep her mouth completely shut. Why? Because during their conversation, Jason and Serena mentioned that the names on that WSB hard drive are directly linked to several major shareholders who are currently manipulating deception! Lucy realizes that this WSB trader list is the ultimate leverage she needs to win the corporate war at deception. She knows that if she can get her hands on the identities of these corrupt shareholders, she can completely destroy Tracy Quartermain and Brooke Lynn's hold on the company. This opens up an entirely new, vicious battlefield in Port Charles. The fight for control of a cosmetics company is suddenly inextricably linked to a deadly international espionage plot. Lucy is willing to let Jason risk his life as human bait just so she can secure her position as the head of deception. It is a classic, ruthless soap opera move, and it perfectly ties the corporate boardroom drama directly into Jason's mob and spy storylines. However, Jason's brilliant ruse is about to face its greatest test. Jack Brennan, the cunning former WSB director, is starting to connect the dots. Brennan is far too smart to believe that the legendary Jason Morgan was broken so easily. Suspecting that Jason's frailty is a complete sham, Brennan decides to force Jason's hand. According to my insider leak, Brennan is going to hire a ruthless, mysterious hitman to ambush Jason in a secluded alleyway. The mission is not necessarily to kill Jason, but to push him to the absolute brink. Brennan wants to see if Jason will choose to die maintaining his cover, or if the lethal enforcer will resurrect himself to survive. It is the ultimate deadly test of Jason's willpower. The upcoming ambush scene is going to be television gold, ladies. The hitman corners Jason, expecting an easy target, a frail man who can barely stand. But the second the hitman strikes, Jason's entire demeanor flips like a switch. The slouch disappears, the trembling stops, and in a matter of 3 terrifying seconds, Jason completely dismantles and neutralizes the assassin with bone-crushing efficiency. But here is the massive twist. Anna Devane and Michael Corinthos happen to arrive on the scene just in time to witness the tail end of this brutal takedown. They see the undeniable proof. They finally realize that everything they have witnessed over the past few weeks, the weakness, the trauma, the vulnerability, was nothing but a meticulously executed performance. Now that Anna and Michael know the truth, Jason has to accelerate his master plan. The climax of this entire storyline is gearing up to take place at the most unexpected location. A high-stakes emergency board meeting at Deception. Lucy Coe has called all the major players into the boardroom, intending to use her secret knowledge to blackmail the shareholders. But before Lucy can play her hand, the double doors are going to burst open, and Jason Morgan is going to walk in. He will not be slouching. He will not look weak. He will be wearing his signature black leather jacket, standing tall, radiating pure, lethal menace. The collective gasp in that boardroom is going to be heard all the way in Bensonhurst. Jason is going to slam that encrypted WSB hard drive right onto the boardroom table. He is going to publicly expose the embedded WSB spy right then and there. And, ladies, my sources are telling me that the identity of this traitor is going to absolutely devastate the fans. This is not some random new character or a nameless henchman. The spy is someone who has been living in Port Charles for months. Someone who has integrated themselves into the community, someone who has earned the deep trust of our favorite families. When Jason points his finger and reveals the traitor, it is going to shatter alliances, break hearts, and ignite a brand new, bloody corporate and mob war between Jason, Serena, and the dark forces controlling the WSB. Jason is not just a wounded hero returning home, he is the apex predator who just flipped the entire chessboard. I am literally shaking just thinking about how this is all going to play out on screen. The writers are finally giving us the brilliant, tactical Jason Morgan we have been begging for, using his own perceived weakness as his most dangerous weapon. But I have to know what you guys think about this massive twist. Who do you believe is the trusted Port Charles resident that has been secretly working for the WSB this whole time? Could it be someone close to Sonny, or maybe someone hiding in plain sight at the hospital? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below. Let's get this debate started, and brace yourselves, because Port Charles is about to explode.